seat, a bite to eat, and settle right in. For hugs, snuggles, stories, and more, and so many sweet things in store.
Welcome to Afternoons with Mimi.
Hey there, Mimi. Whoa! That's a lot of donuts, Mimi.
Correction, kiddo. It's a whole lot of sufganiyot, just like my Tanti Judith used to make.
Wow! Wow! Can I have one?
I know I'm supposed to say, no, you'll spoil your dinner, but I'm not going to. What fun is it being a Mimi if you can't let your kiddo have a jelly donut before supper?
What are all of these for?
Hanukkah, of course. Did you forget that tonight's the first night? Your cousins are coming over later to light the candles with us.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Oops. Mimi, can you help me make some cards? I kind of forgot.
Way ahead of you, kiddo. The art supplies are over there. Let me just move these donuts and we can get to scribbling.
Mimi, Mora Ari told us the story of Judah Maccabee. It was really cool. Do you know it?
I certainly do.
He was so brave, Mimi. Super brave. He might be even braver than all the superheroes I've ever heard of.
He might be.
But Mimi...
Yes, my heart?
I want to hear you tell it.
Really? Are you sure?
Yes, yes. Tell me the story of Hanukkah while I make my cards.
All right. Let's move you over here, and you can snuggle in while I tell you a little something.
You always say that.
Once upon a time, long, long ago, the most special place for the Jewish people was the temple in Jerusalem. The temple contained many beautiful objects, including a tall golden menorah. Instead of being lit by candles or light bulbs, this menorah burned oil. Every evening, oil would be poured into the cups that sat on top of the menorah, and the temple would be filled with shimmering light.
I bet it was so pretty.
I bet it was. Now, at the time, a very mean king named Antiochus ruled over the land. I don't like these Jewish people, he said. They are so different from me. I don't celebrate Shabbat or read from the Torah, so why should they? Antiochus made many new cruel rules. No more celebrating Shabbat, no more going to the temple, and no more Torah.
Hey, that's not fair.
It sure wasn't. And he didn't stop at those mean rules. One day, Antiochus told his guards to go into the temple and make a mess. They brought mud, stones, and garbage into the temple. They broke furniture and knocked things down. They smashed the jars of oil that were used to light the menorah.
It's not nice to make a mess on purpose.
Spot on, kiddo. So now our hero comes along, and his name was...
Judah Maccabee.
Right. So Judah Maccabee said, "We must stop Antiochus. We must think of ways to make him leave the land of Israel." At first, Judah's followers, called the Maccabees, were afraid. "Judah," they said, "Antiochus has so many soldiers. His soldiers carry such big weapons, and he uses huge elephants to fight his battles. How can we fight against him?"
So what did they do?
Well, Judah said, "If we think very hard and plan very carefully, we will be able to defeat him." It took a long time, but at last the Maccabees chased Antiochus and his men out of Israel.
Like 20 minutes?
A little bit longer. It took a while. As soon as Antiochus and his soldiers were gone, the Jewish people ran to Jerusalem to clean their temple. What a mess! The beautiful menorah was gone, and the floor was covered with trash, broken furniture, and pieces from the shattered jars of oil. The Maccabees built a new menorah. At first, they worried that they would not be able to light their new menorah. But they searched and searched until at last they found one tiny jar of oil, enough to light the menorah for just one evening.
And did they light it?
The Maccabees knew that it would be at least 8 days before they could get more oil, but they lit the menorah anyway. To their surprise, this little jar of oil burned for 8 days. The Jewish people could not believe their good fortune. First, their small army had chased away Antiochus's large army, and now the tiny jar of oil had lasted for 8 whole days.
Wow.
And so every year, during Hanukkah, we light our menorah for 8 days to remember the miracles that happened long ago. The end.
But Mimi, I don't get it.
Don't get what?
The jelly donuts. I mean, I love jelly donuts. But why are they a Hanukkah food? And also, what about gelt? Normally, the grown-ups tell me candy is only for the weekends. But during Hanukkah, I feel like I get treats all the time. Chocolate gelt, jelly donuts, French fry pizza, all the latkes I could possibly want, even tater tots for breakfast. What's it all about, Mimi?
Well, great questions, my darling. Also, you forgot one thing.
What's that?
My delicious Hanukkah stir-fry.
Oh, how could I? That's my favorite. But Mimi, what does all this food have to do with Judah Maccabee? Was he strong because he ate jelly donuts?
Well, do you remember what the miracle is in the Hanukkah story?
Kind of. The lights stay on?
It's that the Jewish people only had one little carafe of oil, but it burned for 8 days. So, during Hanukkah, a fun tradition is eating foods fried in oil, like latkes or your favorite tots or
Jelly donuts!
and jelly donuts. Now, let's get cleaned up and finish these cards before your cousins arrive.
Wait! Mimi, why do we make cards for Hanukkah?
Another great question. Well, my mother used to say that it's always nice to get a card.
Okay.
But also, it's just something our family likes to do. Every family has different special ways of celebrating different holidays. You and your cousins even have different things you like to do for Shabbat.
Yeah, I like to always have a living room picnic. But Micah and Ari and Aunt Meredith use fancy plates.
Exactly. Some families exchange cards, some don't. We happen to be a family who's really into giving and getting cards.
Mimi! They're here!
Hello, my loves. Come in, come in.
Happy Hanukkah, everyone!